Hey, what's up everybody? In this video we're going to look over my Torment 6 Witchdoctor build using Locust Swarm, Haunt, Piranhas, and Creeping Death, but overall those all tie in really well together. So anyway, let's get right to the skills. And of course I went green because of poison. What the hell, why not? Anyway, left click Haunt with Poison Spirit. This turns Haunt into poison damage instead of cold, and also haunted enemies take 20% more damage from all sources. Great skill right there. Lots of damage, also damage increasing, so perfect. Secondary right click is Locust Swarm with Pestilence. Now, I really only go with Pestilence because it doesn't seem to jump to other enemies without this rune very readily. So, of course, I use Pestilence. That way it jumps to 2 additional enemies and it just rapidly poisons everybody. So, of course, that's for my main group, poisoning everything. I have Piranhas with Zombie Piranhas. I picked this instead of Piranhado because it has less of a cooldown, and also the piranhas are actually able to leap out farther than the pool itself, so that's actually affecting more enemies than what is just in the area of effect. So I do like that. I've always gone with zombie piranhas. Never really Piranhado. It does work good if you got reduction in cooldown. Gargantuan, big stinker for more poison damage and defense. A little bit of extra damage, but pretty much just a meat shield. I have Fetish Army with Headhunters. I do have Xanamusa set, so these guys are up all the time. And Headhunters for the poison damage. That gives me 2 extra fetishes that shoot blow darts for some extra damage and defense. And then finally, Summon Zombie Dogs with Rabid Dogs. So I have 3 dogs that are able to do some poison damage. So I can go with the Life Leech dogs, Life Leech rune, Leeching Beasts. But that's if I do need the health. It's kind of they don't do very much damage, so it is probably better to go with the other one, but since I'm just trying to go full poison with this, I went with Rapid Dogs. As for passive skills, I went with, because I'm using Haunt so much, really a lot, I try to put it up on everything since it is Torment 6. Rush of Essence, Spirit spells return 100 mana over 10 seconds. So I'm going to try to put Haunt on everything, and this will constantly be giving me mana back, so that just negates the mana cost for this, and also gives me more back. I have Pierce the Veil. All your damage is increased by 20%, but your mana costs are increased by 30%. So, really, if I cast Pestilence, Piranhas, or Locust Swarm, Piranhas, that'll use up most of my mana. And then I just start bombing him with Haunt, and then this extra 20% damage is huge. Also, it works with my pets, too. So, very useful for Torment 6. I do have Bad Medicine for defense, so since this is all poison and I'm going to be poisoning everything, this will reduce the damage of enemies by 20%, so that's great for my pets and I, so for survivability reasons. And then finally, Creeping Death, a must-have for this build. Your Haunt, Locust Swarm, and damage amplification from Piranhas last almost forever. So this is great. I rarely ever have to put it up. Big on saving on mana. I could cast and move where I want. Things will still be dying. It's great. So let's get to the gear. For my main hand weapon, there's nothing really special. Get to Celeria actually gives you, right here I have 5 primaries, which is great. So there is some defense with Vitality Bell. So I got the damage, the attack speed increase, intelligence, everything, and it is ancient. So I went with this. I could have gone with something else, but for this build, this works the best just because the high damage output for using damage over time skills. My offhand is Xanamusa String of Ears. I do have 3 pieces, and then the 4th piece set bonus because of the Ring of Royal Grandeur. This doesn't give me really anything besides some decent stats. And it helps with the set bonus. I got the offhand, boots, and chest. For the helm, I got Quetzalcoatl. And as you see, Locust Swarm and Haunt now deal their damage in half the normal duration. So that effectively doubles the damage that I do. Now, normally, if you didn't have Creeping Death, this would cut the time in half. So you just do more damage in less time. But with Creeping Death, since it lasts forever, it doubles the damage that can be done in the same amount of time. Oh, yeah, it's just the same thing, but you don't have to cast it a whole bunch of times like this. Shoulders, nothing, just stats, so that doesn't help me with the Phantom Knives explosion. I do have Tasker and Theo for my gloves for the pets. That increases their attack speed by 40%. That's actually a low roll. It goes all the way up to 50. I got 40. It'd be nice if I had 50, but still helps out greatly. So since I will have what, like 11 pets running around. This will increase the damage, well, effectively 40% more damage. My belt goes with Locust Swarm. So as you can see, Locust Swarm also slows enemies by 60%. Also a piss poor roll. It could go all the way up to 80. And if you get an 80, I've had it before on a lower belt level. I can't use it on this, but it was up at 80. It drastically slows everything down to a crawl. But even at 60%, it's great for defense. It allows you to just move around wherever you want while everything is slowed down. And it will last as long as Locust Form lasts. So since it almost lasts forever with Creeping Death, everything's slowed down forever. I do have a single legendary gem, the Gem of Efficacious Toxin. And this is ranked up to 25. So right now I have poisons all enemies for 3,250% weapon damage over 10 seconds. So that's good for 325 every second. And then also all enemies you poison take 10% increased damage from all sources. So that's yet another damage increase on top of zombie piranhas and haunt. So that's 20, 35, 45% damage increase. And then for my pants, I have the Swampland Waiters. Poison skills deal 19%. This is the only damage increase I have for poison. I try not to stack it, but these pants are so good for some of the stats, you know, high roll. And also that poison damage helps with this, so I went with it. So that's an extra almost 20% poison damage for the total build. And as you can see, I'm near at 1.7 million sheet damage. So that's actually really high. I believe that's pretty much the highest that I have for my tunes. But otherwise, I have Unity on me and my follower. And so to do this, you need 2 Unities and a Focus or whatever your follower uses, but you need the one that's legendary. Equip on follower, your follower cannot die. So she will never die. She will never get knocked down and have to wait to come back to life. And then you equip her with Unity or him and yourself with Unity, and that cuts your damage in half. Huge defense boost having those 3 items, and you only have to carry around a ring. So also this ring increases my damage against elites by 13%. Great bonus for Torment 6, and also, well, no, not this one. Okay, that was my other two. Anyway, bracers, nothing crazy, just slave bonds that give me 5 primaries, so that's pretty good. So I'm able to put more intellect into my paragon levels with that movement increase. Squirt's necklace, nothing, just great stats, life per hit. You know, I do love that life per hit. And otherwise, that's pretty much my gear besides the Ring of Royal Grandeur that allows me to get the 4-piece set bonus from Xanamusa, which allows, or my Fetish Army will last until they die. Let's look at the stats. Attack speed increased 23%. I wish this was up about 30, but I think I had to change out the belt, and that would have given me another 5 or 6%. But otherwise, that's very good. Works good with pets and also the damage dealing, or damage over times. Critical hit chance, great. 50%. That's around where I want it. I wouldn't mind breaking 50, maybe 55, but that's good. Critical hit damage, I wish it was up more, about 500%. I could get it up there, but I would have to sacrifice. So 400%'s a very good number to be having right now. Area damage, I wish this was up at 100. This actually works pretty damn well for this build. But 50%'s not bad. That's all from Paragon. And then, of course, poison damage increased 19%. Armor, nothing special. Physical resistance, or all my resistances, pretty high, about 84%. Crowd control reduction, 28% reduction. That helps quite a bit for jails or freezing, anything like that. So I recommend having some kind of CC reduction for Torment. As you can see, life per hit, 30,000. That's a lot. I've got 650,000. So when I cast Locust Swarm, it'll be hitting so many guys that haven't had it, or I could cast it again, and it'll rapidly give me life back. Life per second, pretty high, 20,000. Life per kill. That actually does help with this build on Torment 6, because things do melt rather rapidly. Well, you know, we get poisoned and die, but they just essentially melt. Groups melt before your eyes, you'll see. This actually does help. A lot of times it doesn't because it takes so long. And then nothing really too special. So of course I got my mana cost increased by 30%. That's why it's a negative. And then 70, that's not bad for regen per second, but also with Xanamusa, as you see here, grants 30 mana per kill. So when things die, you get 30 more mana. And then also increasing my mana regen by 7.5. So this is a very good set for Torment 6, especially giving you so many little guys to run around, do a bunch of damage, and also keep enemies off you. So overall, very good build. I wouldn't mind maybe, well, having better rolls first of all, finding a good pair of shoulders. But the problem with this game though is that they haven't released great legendary shoulders, so you're just kind of stuck with just some crap like this. So otherwise, I'm sure I could really make this build blow up with more poison damage and also some more specific legendaries besides squirts. I could get, poison damage along with chance on doing certain things to have certain things happen. But otherwise, alright, let's go kill some shit and we'll see how this works. Now, as you'll see, oh, and also if you've been keeping up with me, you'll notice that the audio should sound a lot better. I've actually changed some things around. It should come in clearer and make me sound a little more like myself. So anyway, all I really do when I first start out is toss out haunts. That'll get my regen going, and then just locust swarm. As you can see, it's just jumping around right now. And then my pets will go in, hold them off, and then also deal their damage. And really, I just try to spam haunt as much as possible because it does jump to other enemies, as you can see there. So once you put up enough of it, it'll just keep jumping around. And remember, this is Torment 6, so these enemies are dying relatively fast compared to other builds that I've had and just been trying out. And they're also slowed, they're CC'd. And see, those guys died without my pets really even being on them, so it is very powerful. Here's a champion mob. Ooh, don't want to die. Don't want to die in the video. Ah, oh, that's close. But, well, that was real close. That's what can happen, though. As you can see, my defense is only at 10 million. If it was up higher, that would not have happened. My wizard actually has pretty high defense, and that certainly doesn't happen very often. But with this build, sometimes you'll run into elite packs that have jailers, everything like that. So there is that chance. It actually is a challenge for me at this point to stay alive during certain moments when I'm fighting certain elites that can dish out huge amounts of damage real fast and hold you in one spot. But that's where that crowd control comes in. God, that would really suck if I died in a video. I hate that shit, because then I'd have to start all over. Don't feel like doing that. But I'm real happy with the damage on this build. As you can see, it once I get everything up, even when my mana's low, it'll regen quickly before the next group. And then if it's only single enemies, I'll just put up Haunt, not use my high mana cost skills. That's why I always have it up. And really, that's... Hey, look at that. What do we got here? Defense. But, and then also, if it's a larger group, I will not use piranhas, but I will use locust swarm. You see what I mean? So it's kind of situational how you want to use everything, just to maintain your mana. But really, you could use everything. You'll get it back real fast. Especially when enemies die, you'll get back hundreds of mana. But on large groups, this is great. Also with that 50% damage to everybody else around him works really well with the damage over times. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm real happy with this build. It works really well for Torment 6. I've tried doing bounties. Not a problem to do bounties. I wish I had really hard enemies to go against, because all I do is spit some shit on them and just make sure I'm not standing and shit, and my pets will do the rest of the work, and then their life just drains. That's all. And then if I need to get away far away, it'll still be killing them. It's a great build for kiting and just remaining alive. Like I said, you could get your defense up even higher. And there I am getting haunt on everything again. And then all those haunts, once the enemy dies, it'll haunt somebody that is not haunted. And then if there's nobody else around, it'll start breaking breakable objects. So really, this has always been Yeah, this versions of this have always been my favorite on Diablo. Besides, say, a chain lightning wizard, the locust swarm and the haunt builds are just a blast. Just because you don't have those huge amounts of damage, but you know everything's going to die once you hit them. It's just a matter of time. And the more power that you have, the better. And also, I'm looking forward to maybe starting a seasonal tune and then getting my hands on that two-handed weapon, Wormwood, which not only increases poison damage, but makes it so that you no longer have to cast Locust Swarm. It'll automatically cast when you get near him every second. So that's perfect. So, and then on top of that, you'll get the two-handed huge damage boost if built properly. So anyway, that's my build. Thanks a lot for watching, and leave any comments below if you have any questions or anything like that. And also, this is not a final build. This is not saying this is what you need to do. This is just a showcase of what can be done. And if you really wanted to go crazy with it, poison damage would definitely make this. You could probably double the damage off of this if you had the same exact everything, except you decided to go just straight poison increase. You could probably kill shit in half the time. So this is, like I said, this is just for demonstrative purposes only. And hopefully here pretty soon I'll come up with another. I might try the darts Witchdoctor. That actually dishes out huge amounts of damage. I was surprised. So I'll probably slap that together, see where we're at on that, and see if it's viable for Torment 6, which it should be. So anyway, look at that. Oh, that's just beautiful. You don't see much else that's just as good as that. There's a whole group that just rapidly just decays on Torment 6. I remember when I first tried this, it was so difficult. But, yeah, that's that. Oh, come on. Just die already. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. And make sure to like and or subscribe to Dread's Escape if you enjoyed this or any of my other videos. And if you're wondering, I do have more games up than just Diablo. So make sure to check out my channel if you haven't. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.